We've got high hopes for this contest with these two fighters. Should be a really good matchup. I'm Todd Grisham. Alongside me is Johnny Nelson.
The pleasure's always mine, my friend.
It's the Mexican monster, David Benavidez, turned pro.
This bout is scheduled.
So they stare into each other. So here we go. Should be a good one. Nice job by him to block that jab. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. One punch could change anything when these two step in the ring. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. There's not a seat to be had in this arena, Johnny. It's got that big fight feel, doesn't it?
Situations like this, Todd, will either make or break a fighter because the expectation from the fans of the people here, of the millions of people around the world, people like you and I sat here expecting everything and anything can break a man or make a man.
Counter shot. Who's willing to go where the other fighter won't? Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Neither one of them want this to go to the judges' scorecards. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Well done with that counter shot. Counter shot lands. Can't find a home for that jab. Those counter punches have to hurt. Sometimes when you're fighting a counter fighter, the rounds can get a little boring. You get trigger shy because you know if you throw a punch, one is coming right back at you.
Counter punch is my favorite kind of fighter. A good counter puncher, they're the people that make the history of our sport.
Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Catch and shoot. Beautiful counter shot. Which one of these athletes is going to be the first to get rocked? Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. Talk about a one-sided 3 minutes. We just saw it.
Dominance, without a doubt, make look so easy.
Come on, you want to win this fight.
Here we go for round two. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Counter punch. That jab doesn't score. When you're fighting a counter puncher, the feint can be such a good weapon. Pretend you're going to punch, make the counter puncher throw a punch, and then you counter them.
They have got great ring IQ. Counter punches are the best.
Swing and a miss with that jab. Nice counter shot. Cannot throw out a lazy jab in this fight. You'll get knocked out. A perfect counter shot.
A
A lot of people love watching fighters in this weight class because they've got the speed and they've got the power. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Back and forth they go, neither fighter willing to back down.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
That hook won't score. They exchange punches. Nice counter. We wanted action, and they are giving us action. Beautiful counter punch. And he scores with the counter. What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
Look back in the history books. Some of the best fighters in the world were the middleweights. Yes, the glamour division is the heavyweights, we know. But I'm telling you now, you look like these guys are on it. Fast, sharp, powerful. But it hurts, and you can imagine that being you. They're the size of an average man. Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. Pretty dumb. The bell rings and we start the third. After a really strong round, let's see if they can finish the job.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Swing and a miss with the jab. One punch could change the entire complexion of this fight. Well, Johnny, I know it's still early on, but have you been surprised by anything you've seen?
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything. When you let those shots go, and it's just bouncing up and they're walking you down, it's so demoralizing. It absolutely breaks your heart. What else can you do?
How about that time counter shot? Well, he's firing back now, and sometimes offense can be your best defense. His stamina is off the charts. Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
When are we going to see a jab from these two? The perfect counter lands. You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
The middleweights are the best. You can ever come across. Obviously the glamour weight is the heavyweight, but the middleweight, it's the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace. You can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. You know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous. That is what writes our history book.
And he just missed with that left jab. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. David Benavidez in that last round. They've got the momentum. They've got the advantage. How do they carry that into the next round?
As long as they don't get complacent. You think this is too easy. If they keep this same kind of pace up, they...
There's the bell for round 4. They've got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
He threw a punch and just got countered. That counter punch caught him clean. That left hook missed. Good counter punch. You hear that old phrase, second win. You've got to find it somehow.
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym. You can do it in a fight. You've got to relax.
He fails to score with that left hook. Holding nothing back here in the round. How much confidence do you build when your opponents hit you with their best shot and you walk right through it?
This is when you get in the ring feeling like you're King Kong because you know you've got a chin that is not going to get dented.
Back and forth they go in this round. The momentum continues to shift.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Missed him with that uppercut. He threw the hook, didn't land. And he misses with that jab. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. They threw the hook, it didn't land. Can't score with that jab. You can see the heavy breathing, but that's not slowing him down. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Now you start wondering how much work these two fighters did in the gym.
You cannot gas out. If you prepared right, slept right, ate right, and did everything right for this fight, you have no excuse for gassing.
And there's the bell for round 5. How much do they have left in the tank after that last round?
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me, personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
Good counter punching. There has been a significant aggression difference in this fight, Johnny. What do you see?
I've seen some aggressive fighters like this, and they are a nightmare. If you are not fit, that is the worst place to be, having second thoughts in the ring.
Well, they're going deep into the gas tank on this round. Starting to take some deep breaths now, but still fighting hard. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
That left hook doesn't find its target. halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
It's all offense all the time. You hear people talk about a boxer's chin. Do they have a good chin? Do they have a glass jaw? Those are questions that are being answered here tonight.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes when I've done in the ring with fights like that, and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
And wait a minute. He caught him clean. There's a counter shot. A lot of effort being exerted here. Nice counter punch. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Cardio was put in for this fight. It may come down to that.
Because when you talk about championship material.
Don't change too much yet. Keep doing what you're doing. The gaps are up here, and he'll start.
Okay, now you're switching off. You're starting to make mistakes and switching off. And
Nice round. Good round. I like that. I'm happy. Good man. Just...
you're getting back into this. You're better than this, kid. Go back out there and win the...
Yes, I like that round. Good round. Feel good? Good man. So just keep him on the end of his jab. Getting your timing already. The right hand's beautiful. That's it. Start just sticking it
back. Get that jab back. Just boxing. Be smart. Get yourself...
Great round. Great round. Now, relax. Relax. Good work. You think...
It's only one round that you've lost. Don't worry about it. I need you to...
Great work. I love that. I love that. That jab's slick. I don't want you to...
round. Get your mind back on the job.
The referee calling for seconds out. Unfortunately, this fighter not going to get more time to heal up and get a breather.
He's not in your league. Come on, switch on. Get your boxing back together.
Let's start the sixth. Was 1 minute enough time for them to recover after what we saw last round?
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. You've heard the phrase, finding a second win. I don't think I need to tell you which one of these fighters needs to find it.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
Threw the uppercut, but did not score. The right hook just missed. Missed with that jab. We both know who the bigger power puncher is. There's a significant power difference. How would you handle that?
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Pretty close fight here in this round.
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill. Tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you. And so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. They exchange punches. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Is he going to punch himself out, though? Straight right just misses. perfect counter shot. Nope, that jab not going to score. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. Stamina is always...
Just the same again.
And there's the bell for round 7. That 1-minute break surely wasn't enough for him to completely recover.
What are they doing that round? Are they trying to get an early night? That's a lot of energy burst. They did 6 rounds in one. They're going to be absolutely shattered.
Catch and shoot. Stamina is so important for these two fighters because it allows them to use their skills throughout the match. It can all come down to who's in better shape.
Middleweight always gives us a class. If you've got 2 class middleweight fighters, you are in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
Nobody home with that hook. Punch, counter punch. His stamina is off the charts. There's a big difference between being the aggressor and the effective aggressor. Which type are we seeing so far?
How do you deal with an aggressive fighter? What you do is you fight fire with fire. You either give it them back because that's where they're comfortable, or you play calm, play cool.
Tough to be a judge in this fight as both fighters have had their big moments.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Look at the swelling and the bruising. They're going to take a look, and they may stop this fight. So that's that. The referee's made his judgment, and we carry on. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. He's putting the pedal to the metal, but has to be careful that he doesn't run out of gas. Incredible work rate. Is he going to punch himself out, though? Well done with that counter shot. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. I'm worried about these two fighters gassing out as this fight goes on.
There's a lot on the line here.
I said, start just sticking up a few bodies.
Okay, now you've let him back into the fight that round. Right, let's go out there.
Nice round. Good round. I like that. I'm happy. Good man.
Just take the round off, win the round on your jab, and then breathe.
Okay, I'm happy. I like that.
And we enter the 8th round. Not sure these two fighters can keep up the pace we saw last round, but you know they're going to try.
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you've cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
Sometimes when you get in there with someone that's so powerful, you gotta think.
Whoa, did you see that? Give me just a second here, Johnny. We've never seen Canelo in this sort of trouble. The pound-for-pound king, Canelo is down. And look at that body shot. They couldn't have thrown it any better.
Shot from the gods, they say. A shot from the gods.
So the fight will continue, but what does the game plan have to look like now?
What resilience to be down and to be back up again, to get yourself back into the fight again, to show your fitness and determination. Maximum respect.
Might want to think of holding on here for a minute. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Straight right just misses. The only fear you have with this fighter is, has he punched himself out? You can tell one of these fighters is starting to fade. What does he need to do to get back in this contest?
What can they change? They can change their attitude. They can change their nervous system. Throw a certain amount of punches per round. Because otherwise, if they deviate from the game plan, they're going to be shattered once again and the fight will be over.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. As we enter the final 10 seconds here, it's probably a round he'd rather forget. You've got to wonder how big. And there's the bell for round 9. They really got banged up last round. What can they do here to change the momentum?
That knockdown we just saw was a heavy knockdown. I'd be very, very surprised if he'll come out fresh as a daisy. That's not going to happen. He's got to hustle now. He's got to bluff them.
The straight right just misses. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. So, did you see that? Canelo Alvarez just got rocked in a big way. And it appears the onslaught is over, and he is forcing him to take a knee.
What you see right there is a heartbroken fighter.
6, 7, 8.
What heart, what desire, but at what cost? That counter shot lands. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Stamina is off the charts. They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. How nervous would you get when you know you're facing a big puncher like this that can seriously hurt you?
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
Beautiful counter shot. Throwing the hook, but it doesn't score. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Oh my word, Canelo just got clipped. Benavidez in that last round. Now This is the 10th. Let's see how much recovery they saw there in the last minute.
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. As we enter the final frames of this bout, Johnny, what have we seen so far?
I've seen some fighters with a granite chin. You can hit them with a sledgehammer, they are not going to move. But then I've seen some mad punchers with a chin like a cliff. As soon as you touch them, they're gone. And this is the danger.
Missing with that jab. No rest for the weary. Can't land the jab there. Well, Johnny, has anything surprised you here as we enter the final frames of this bout?
I've never seen a fighter so fast in my life. How do you deal with this? You've got to hope they run out of steam.
Swing and a miss with that jab. Swinging big and missing big with that hook. Which fighter will say no mas? Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. Straight right just misses. This fighter expending a lot of energy in this round. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about David Benavidez that last round. This is the 11th we've entered the championship rounds. They really seemed to exhaust themselves last round. Let's see what they have left.
What were they doing that round? Are they trying to get an early night? That's a lot of energy burst. They did 6 rounds in one. They're going to be absolutely shattered.
This fighter's sort of the death by 1,000 paper cuts approach. He'll hit you 1,000 times before you can land one.
So you're getting in there with somebody that's so fast, you're prepared to take a licking because you've got to get some before you get him close.
And David Benavidez is on the canvas. And as we watch it again, that punch took the wind out of him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're out. So it's onward and upward after a knockout win here.
Oh, what a shot! What a shot! You see shots like that in the gym. At least for once, this is on TV. Thousands around.
Well, late. It's the... This... So much hype. So here we go. Should be a good one. Misses with that jab. A perfect counter lands. Good counter punching. The bravery being shown here is just incredible. Perhaps the hottest ticket in town for this fight tonight.
This is not just hype. We are in for something special tonight. What an arena, what an atmosphere, what a build-up.
Do you believe what we are seeing? They're both going for the KO. It's so obvious. There's a counter shot. Lucky that hook didn't score. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. A counter fighter relies a lot on their instincts and reaction time. You've got to get in there quick to punch your opponent before he gets his fist back to block.
They have got great ring IQ. Counter punches are the best.
Big shots from both these fighters. Got to be careful, though.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
Nice idea with the jab, but does not land. Right hook catching air. And he scores with the counter. When you're fighting a counter puncher, the feint can be such a good weapon. Pretend you're going to punch, make the counter puncher throw a punch, and then you counter them.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be honest. You've got to be honest. You've got to be a pro. You've got.
And David Benavidez is on the canvas. As you can see, it was a hit to the head that did it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Final 10 seconds here, unless we get some late drama. I think we all know who won this round. Let's talk about David Benavidez in that last round. What do we expect to see here in round 2? Got to get the momentum shift coming their way. What can they do here?
What a knockdown. 1 minute. You need 1 hour to get over a shot like that. Now it's down to conditioning. Now it's down to mental strength and preparation. It's how you are going to deal with it.
Beautiful counter punch. The straight right just misses. Misses with the right uppercut. Just misses with that jab. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. A lot of people love watching fighters in this weight class because they've got the speed and they've got the power. He misses with that jab. The straight right just misses. Another jab scores. Well done with that counter shot. Counter shot lands. We both know who the bigger power puncher is. There's a significant power difference. How would you handle that?
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, it can be intimidating. Just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
Nope, that hook won't score. Unlucky to miss with that jab. Well, Johnny, it's still early on, but what do you think about what we're seeing so far?
Look back in the history books, some of the best fighters in the world were the middleweights. Yes, the glamour division is the heavyweights, we know. But I'm telling you now, you look right there, these guys are on it. Fast, sharp, powerful. But it hurts, and you can imagine that being you. They're the size of an average man.
Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about Benavidez that last round. On to the third. Well, Johnny, can he keep the momentum going after that last huge round for him?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. Beautiful counter shot. That jab was blocked. The straight right just misses. Well, Johnny, I know it's still early on, but have you been surprised by anything you've seen?
Work the body, frustrate them, take the mind off the chin, take the mind off protecting everything around that. Work the body, use tactics. Sometimes it's all right to actually outbox a fight and beat them on points.
Holding nothing back here in the round. He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. You can see the heavy breathing, but that's not slowing him down. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. They exchange punches. That hook was off target. That jab misses. Energy and endurance are not an issue for this fighter who continues to be aggressive as the rounds wear on.
I've seen some aggressive fighters. They can terrorize the life out of you before they've even thrown a shot. The strength they have, the speed they have, and that knockout punch, they want to punch through you. They don't want to punch you. They want to punch straight through you. So you've got to be careful.
Shot. What an upset here as Alvarez goes down. We wondered how good his chin was, but no one's chin standing up to that shot.
I've got to see that again. 1, 2, 3.
Well, this next round is going to be crucial. There's the bell for round 4. They really got banged up last round. What can they do here to change the momentum?
Todd, listen to me. If I knock somebody down like that round, you know this round coming out? He's getting everything full barrel because I know his legs are gone. So this, you watch what's going to happen. If he doesn't, I'll be very surprised.
How about that time counter shot? So much firepower here. Just misses that uppercut. One of the best attributes to have in boxing has nothing to do with boxing. It's how well you can take a punch to the face.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes when they're in the ring with fights like that and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. He threw a punch and just got countered. Punch, counter punch. His stamina is off the charts. Incredible work rate. We hear that old phrase, second win. You've got to find it somehow.
Now you've got two fighters that...
Whoa, Johnny! We've never seen Canelo in this sort of trouble. Disaster averted.
Green Days now needs to steady the pace. Get the pace back to normal.
To be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. This is some of the best action I've seen in any round, anywhere this year. Is he going to punch himself out, though? Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. A perfect counter shot. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about David Benavidez. Back into the fray here in round 5. They let it all hang out in the last round. What do they got left?
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
In the early rounds of a fight, you'll see two boxers feel each other out, test each other's power, and I think this boxer has decided I can walk through anything that lands.
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything. When you let those shots go and it's just bouncing off and they're walking you down.
That's a lot of swelling. The referee taking a good look at it. Is he going to stop it? The referee takes a look and he says, let's get it on. That hook was thrown with some bad intentions. The straight right just misses. The old adage is, no matter how much speed you've got, timing beats speed.
This can be so frustrating when you're in such a fast fighter that can throw 3-4 shot combinations before you've even let one off. That creates frustration, and that's when it gets hard.
I can't believe we're only halfway through the round.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Throwing the hook, but it doesn't score. Nice counter shot. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. Nice counter. A lot of effort being exerted here. Those counter punches have to hurt. A big, heavy blow, and Saul is down. It looked great live. How will it look again on slow motion replay?
Where did that come from? What a shot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're out.
So time to go celebrate after a knockout win here.
Well, there's no argument right there. You say it. Night-night.